For more on this, we can bring in Dr. Anne Irfan, lecturer in interdisciplinary race, gender, and postcolonial studies at University College of London. Anne, thanks so much for joining us today on the program.
Thank you.
Now, as we were just seeing in those images there, aid trucks have been heading into Gaza. What's the current situation in the enclave?
Well, as you said, there has been an allowance for aid to finally reach, not a moment too soon, the people there. We're also seeing the mass movement within the Gaza Strip, people returning to some of the neighborhoods from which they had been forcibly evacuated or forced to flee to escape the violence. It's worth flagging that they are returning to their neighborhoods, but in many cases not their homes. According to estimates, more than 90% of homes in Gaza have been destroyed or damaged by the Israeli military over the last 2 years. And displacement has, of course, been a major characteristic. More than 1.9 million people, and that's virtually the entire population of Gaza, have been displaced by the Israeli military, many repeatedly. And this is coming into a situation where around 70% of them were already Nakba refugees. So there is this movement happening that is maybe some reversal of that displacement. We're also seeing, unfortunately, as the ceasefire comes into effect, it is allowing for the discovery of more bodies. So Wafa news agency reported yesterday that 135 new bodies have been discovered in just the first 24 hours. During the last ceasefire, which held for roughly 2 months from January to March this year, the death toll increased by several hundred as new bodies were found. So unfortunately, that's likely to be a continuing theme if the ceasefire does hold.
Now, we've been also discussing the U.S. brokered peace plan, the 20-point plan by Donald Trump. Tomorrow, we're supposed to have this hostage prisoner exchange. There's going to be a peace summit in Egypt. How likely is it that this peace plan is going to hold, and what are the current stakes?
The stakes are obviously extremely high. More than 67,000 Palestinians in Gaza have been killed over the last 2 years, and it's likely to be the case that the true death toll is much higher. As for whether the Trump plan can or will hold, that is obviously the million-dollar question right now. We know that the Israeli government, and particularly Benjamin Netanyahu, was really determined to try and maintain the war, widely recognized as a genocide, for as long as possible, that he really held out against agreeing to any kind of ceasefire. It's been reported that Trump has given his word directly that he will ensure Israel does not break the ceasefire again, as they did in March, but there are no guarantees of anything.
And we've also been hearing that Hamas has said they're not going to have a role in the post-governing of Gaza. But what's in store for Hamas in the future? Obviously, if they agree to this, they're getting something out of this deal as well.
Well, again, the actual confirmed details have been quite scant. As you say, it is being claimed that Hamas cannot have a role in post war governance of the Gaza Strip. It's also been reported that there may have been offers of an amnesty to Hamas if they agreed to this, which may be one factor or one reason behind their final agreement to acquiesce to the ceasefire terms. But ultimately, it's worth noting that even though Netanyahu said from day one that one of the primary goals was to destroy Hamas, Hamas obviously has sustained huge losses, but it does remain intact. The fact that the ceasefire had to be agreed with Hamas does indicate its ongoing power. So there are serious questions as to what will actually happen now, because it has not been obliterated or fully removed as an organization, contrary to what Netanyahu's been claiming.
And thank you so much for joining us today on the program, sharing your expertise. That's Dr. Anne Irfan, lecturer at University College of London.